Hey, welcome to Cooking with Lace. Today I'm going to show you how I make gumbo. What I've learned is that
no two gumbos are alike.
One thing that all gumbos have in common, which I'm sure a lot of people will agree, is that
it is a labor of love, especially if you make your own roux, but totally worth it.
Let me show you how I do it. I'm going to start by cooking my okra. Today I'm using frozen because the fresh did not look fresh. I'm going to add some tomato sauce, Tony's, and olive oil. And I'll be sticking this in the oven at 350 for 2.5 to 3 hours, taking it out every now and then and flipping it, and then I end up covering it with a piece of foil. Here you can see I bought my meat already seasoned. I have smoked and fresh pork sausage. I also bought my onions chopped. I'm going to start on my roux. I'm using almost a cup of flour and 3/4 to a cup of oil. And now all you do is stir, and you keep stirring and stirring. And I videoed the process of making a roux because the color change is so slight. Here you can see it's changed a little bit, and I'll tell you a story about making a roux. One time a few years ago, I was making a roux and I was stirring a little too hard, and a piece of roux flew in my eye, and I had to go to the doctor, except the doctor was not working because it was a holiday, so we had to call him, and he was nice enough to meet me at his office, and I had to wear this cute patch on my eye for a couple of days during the holiday. So that's my story about roux. And here you can see it's starting to get even more brown. It's really looking good at this point. And this is where you really want to watch, because it's easy to burn and then you'll have to start all over. I try to get as dark as I can without burning it. And so when I get it to almost looking like milk chocolate, some people say peanut butter, then I'm going to go ahead and drop my meat in. You can see it's looking pretty good. So once I drop my meat in, the roux will kind of stop cooking. And what we're doing here is we're basically frying all of our meat. And I'm going to add my smoked sausage at this point. And here I really want to stir it so that I get the roux all over all the meat so that it can kind of fry it. So some people put their onions in first. I was taught to roast my meat for about 20 to 30 minutes in the roux. You can see some of the chicken kind of is starting to look cooked. And then I add my onions, stirring that, and I will cook my onions until they're clear. And at that point, I will add my water. And because I had so much meat, I'm adding about 4 quarts of water. And I'm going to add my fresh sausage at this point. I'm poking holes in it. I'm adding it because I will have to bring the gumbo up to a boil, and it's going to have to cook for 30 more minutes to an hour. And you can also see I added a couple of chicken bouillon cubes. So at this point my okra is done. And I like to go back into the gumbo after all the meat is cooked and take the meat off the bones for the chicken, and I like to cut the fresh sausage up into smaller pieces. Of course, we don't want to just have a big link in there. And so there goes my chicken, and I'm throwing all the bones away. And now you can see I've accumulated quite a bit of oil on top of the gumbo, and I'm going to go ahead and try to take as much of that off as I can. And we're just about done. That's a lot of meat. And we're pretty much finished at this point. So we're going to serve a bowl and give it a little taste. And I had cooked my rice on the side. And I cooked the okra on the side because not everybody likes okra in their gumbo. So here we go, we're adding our okra, because I love okra in my gumbo. And there you go. Now it's time to taste it. So good. Should cook you some.